So this is something that we always think everything is a trade-off, right? So I think in this workshop, we talk about a lot, the difference and why and trade-off. So I think the principle design here, so we should still follow, even though the architecture changed, but we should still follow step 1, 2, 3, and 4 to address the better user experience. So first of all, is you need to get to know your use cases, right? So you want to do a smart health ring, or you want to do a crypto trading, or you want to do food delivery services. Ask questions to clarify your use cases.
And what
Right.
is needed to provide it?
Yeah, what does system do, this kind of thing, and then create design components like what we're doing here, what they're doing there. Your users need to access front end. This front end can be a web front end or could also be an app.
Mm-hmm.
And then this app actually will be hosted by
Universal.
users. So, because users' phone is hosting this front end, right? So you don't need extra like serverless front end services because users' phone are hosting it.
Okay.
And then
And yeah, I understand. I understand. And
other,
the connection from the app is then once again to our smart contract, and the app
yes,
executes our transactions and our users' behalf.
yes. So we could use Cloudflare, or you build an app that interacts with the smart contract. So then, yeah, so then create a higher level design and then design the components I mentioned, smart contract and the front end, and design them. Sometimes you will still need SQL. I don't necessarily mean that you want to store everyone's data there, but the reason why we see in a lot of cases that like NFT or Blueberry Ring are using SQL is the whole blockchain is so big and the data structure is not SQL. So if you want to get yourself the data, because every data is put on the blockchain, the data
Mm-hmm.
structure is called GraphQL. GraphQL, right?
Yeah.
GraphQL is different from SQL. And then you want to get to know your data. You have to check the whole blockchain, indexing them, because that one is pretty slow. The reason why you want to use the SQL is you're already using GraphQL to dump the data to the SQL database. So SQL will be much more faster. So
Mm-hmm.
you are displaying users' data to your front end from SQL, not from the blockchain. So let me show you a
Okay.
typical app.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
let me show you a typical app that did this. So what it's doing here now, right? So it's a scan, the latest transactions. So what we are accessing here is a SQL database.
Which is indexed with GraphQL from the
Indexed with
blockchain.
graph, dump them to the SQL database. And then all this data structure is stored in the EtherScan's SQL database. And we're seeing the
Mm-hmm.
SQL database.
Okay. And this is then all handled by GraphQL, the creation of the database and the calling of the data from the blockchain and the providing SQL data.
Yes. So
Okay.
that's why we say that, yes, we're building a blockchain app, no problem, but we don't have to ditch the traditional way. So you see Etherscan still using SQL to display all of this kind of data, right? Because GraphQL is so complicated, you need to search the whole blockchain to find that transaction. Right? But SQL is much more easier. So they use SQL.
Makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and then scale the design and thinking about how you can scale it up. So then this could be not that problematic. In the Web3 design, we can delete this. We can delete this part because when there are more users, so like Uniswap, people can build their own front end. But the smart contract can deploy by Uniswap, and
Mm-hmm.
the other front end can be built by Major DOM or Vitalik. They have their own front end, and then they have their own node. But smart contract is always Uniswap's smart contract, Blueberry smart contract, and then the scalability is already integrated with what we are talking about here.